If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new songs in the description. Utopia is dropping in June. Don Toliver just gave us his new album, Lovesick, and it seems like 2023 is going to be a big year for Cactus Jack. Today, we're going to talk about the 2023 takeover from Cactus Jack, just like Travis kind of confirmed it. So let's move straight into the video. Real quick, if you don't want to listen to this, make sure to skip 20 seconds into the future, but you can now sign up for my free newsletter with the first link in the description. It comes every Sunday and details everything that's been happening in hip hop over the past week. And also follow me on TikTok. I'm posting on there daily. You don't want to miss out on that. Now let's get into the video. So y'all remember my past two Utopia videos where I went over the interview of the Epic Records CEO that talked about Utopia dropping in June. That was the big news that we had, kind of getting it from somebody else than Travis, and finally having a month, at least the date that we can pinpoint the release of Utopia to, because we've had a lot of different theories. We even have a theory that's going to be dropping on the 23rd, but that whole theory, so of June, that whole theory is what I go over in another video couple of days back. You can go check it out if you're interested in that theory. Definitely interesting. But today we're going to talk about Cactus Jack as a whole, but also obviously circling it back to Utopia. So you remember at the HBCU, charity softball Cactus Jack game, Travis said that Utopia would be coming soon. I quote, "That motherfucker's coming soon." So that was what he gave us. And then a couple of days later at a live performance in a club, he said that he was going to drop Utopia after all other Cactus Jack members dropped their albums. So let's take a look at who these Cactus Jack members are and when they're dropping their album and when we could see Utopia coming out. So let's take a look at this. I want to refer to a comment that I've used in the past videos as well, but this is pretty helpful to kind of guide us, from Reddit, from the user Successful Lead 884. So shout out to you if you're watching this. I've used your comment in a couple of videos, and he said, Chase B in March, Sheck West in April, Fago EP in May, and Utopia in June. And then another user commented on that and said, Dawn dropped for February 2. Wonder if we get Jack Boys 2 in December. So Jack Boys 2 is a whole nother thing that we can talk about. I could see this happening this year as well. I'm going to get into that at the end of the video. But let's actually take a look at what's been happening with Cactus Jack and what's still going to happen in the coming months leading up to Utopia. So just as that second user said, Don Toliver just dropped his new album, Lovesick. I listened to it finally. I think it's actually pretty good. I like the kind of slow R&B vibe he's going for. He also immediately, like a couple of days later, just dropped the deluxe for it. Travis is featured on a track called Embarrassed. Definitely go check that out. They even performed it live already. I'm guessing he dropped the deluxe because he didn't want Yeet to have that much of a higher, sales number than him. But that already happened. So we already have one Cactus Jack member out of the way. So Don Toliver dropped Lovesick, so he's done. Now let's take a look at the next one. So the user on Reddit said that Chase B would be dropping in March. And in fact, Chase B, so DJ and producer, longtime friend of Travis Scott, they even, they worked on stuff before Rodeo. They worked on even a collaborative radio show that they had at some point a lot of years back. But he's working on a new album that is supposedly called Escapism. And this album is also set to feature that one snippet that we got from Travis Scott and Sway Lee that I made an entire video about. So that one's going to be interesting, not just for that one snippet, but also because we could see him do a lot of different things with Cactus Jack artists. There are already a couple of leaks out with, Future and Travis Scott. I mean, Cinderella, but that's maybe going to be on Utopia as well. But that is Escapism, Chase B. Now, he just posted a tweet a couple of days ago saying that the actual name is not going to be Escapism, so we don't know what it's going to be like. We also don't have an official cover art, but it's all still up in the air. He could be dropping in March. We just started March yesterday, so there's still like 3-4 Fridays left that he could drop. Could definitely see this dropping March. He did say in that tweet where he said it's not going to be called Escapism, that the show is about to start, so I'm guessing that he's going to be dropping soon, and that could go hand in hand with the way that the Reddit user laid it out, so that he would be dropping in March. Now, what's going to drop in April? Sheck West. That's at least the theory that we got. Obviously, they could be switched around, or 2 of them drop in March and none in April, or 2 in April, 1 in March. But let's stick with this theory that we got right now. So Sheck West is going to be April. Now, Sheck West's new album is supposedly called Hell to Paradise. Sheck West has been kind of trying to get back the hype ever since 2018's Mudboy and, Mo Bamba, Live Sheck West. That was when he was big. I remember everybody was listening to that on the bus, to school back in 2018. That was like my sophomore year. Damn, that was crazy. Shit was all over the place. Well, he did drop 2 singles leading up to this called LFG. That was actually, I don't know, it's kind of good. I don't know it's not something that I go back to a lot. And another track called Pain that is doing a bit better. And I think that he kind of dropped that to get on like a TikTok hype or whatever. But Sheck West is definitely also gearing up to, kind of release this album called Hell to Paradise. Now, when this is going to drop, as I said, we don't know. But in that theory, we got Chase B in March, Sheck West in April. Then the next step would be Fago. So Fago dropping his new EP in May. And this is actually pretty, solid that we're going to get this in May. He did just drop, 2 singles called Extra and For My Dogs on SoundCloud and YouTube exclusively, which I really enjoyed. So if you haven't yet, make sure to go check out those singles. Fago, I like that he's now taken that more careless route again after Pink Hearts was like this more serious album. Even though I love Pink Hearts, I was more of a fan than like the average dude. But, I'm glad that he's back to what the fans also want. So Fago is still dropping in. That was not the EP. The 2-pack was not the EP. I've seen some people say that. The EP is still coming out, likely in May. That's what it's rumored to be, and that would also go hand in hand with the theory that we got. And what's interesting concerning Fago is that in the clip from the live event where Travis Scott that I showed earlier, where Travis Scott said that he would be dropping after all other members dropped, he did name Fago as the last one. He did say Fago dropping the EP, and after that, Utopia. So Fago is likely the last one of the Cactus Jack members that is going to drop. Until then, Utopia drops. So it's only a matter of whether Sheck West or Chase B release their albums before one another. So that's kind of the only, variable that we got in there. And of course, this would go hand in hand with the stuff that the Epic Records CEO said about Utopia dropping in June. Because when we look at the release schedule, this would all lead up to June, and June, Travis is dropping. So this all goes hand in hand. It can't be a coincidence that this all fits together so perfectly for many different sources. So that's why I'm pretty convinced that at least there's a big chance that somewhat of this release schedule will happen. Even if it's not 100% the way I described it, it's definitely going to be some variation of it. Now, I don't know if y'all seen this, but right now Travis is wanted for allegedly punching somebody at his show. And I've seen this all over Instagram. When you actually look at the clip, it's pretty insane how they can, capture this whole story out of him basically just touching the dude with his hand. So I just wanted to put this in here because that's like most recent Travis Scott news. Let me know what you think about this. I definitely think it's way over exaggerated. Obviously, I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but I don't think that this will lead to any disruption in the, rollout plan for this year. I mean, Cactus Jack has been kind of quiet over the past 2 years. They dropped Jack Boys at the end of 2019, and then also Don Toliver had Heaven or Hell in early 2020. So they had some sort of momentum going on around that time, but nothing ever since then. We had, Franchise obviously drop. So that was maybe a little bit of a life sign from them. But, we've been waiting for Utopia for the longest time. And I do think that if this year is already the comeback of Cactus Jack, and they do gotta prove some because, they've been kind of quiet, and now Don got outsold by Yeet, doubling his sales. That was crazy. I'd never expected that. They definitely got to step up their game, and this year would be a complete takeover if they drop February, March, April, May, June, Utopia. Then the whole Utopia hype is the whole second half of the year, and then in December, they come through with a Jack Boys 2. That is something that I would love to see. That is something that I think will make 2023 definitely Cactus Jack's year, and maybe we're going to see it play out this way. Let me know what you think about this, though, because there's definitely a lot to this theory that there could be variables, parameters that could be switched up, but I'm very convinced, just because, as I said, this fits together from a lot of different sources, that some sort of variation of this will actually happen in 2023. Now, That's it for the video. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think that this theory is actually pretty tangible? What other alternatives do you see in the way that this whole thing could be rolled out? And all of your thoughts and your opinions on this, please let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.